What's up, everybody? Mavi13. Okay, we're back with update number 2 for my Rust NES emulator. All right, so we have implemented a menu. I kind of like this menu. This menu lays on top inside the window for the emulator, and you can choose your options. We default to NTSC USA frame rate for US ROMs. U.S. Region games. But you can, of course, pick that. This is unlocked speed, and then we have a custom slider here that you can tune your settings, and I'll go ahead and show that in a bit. But let's stick to that, and we can also show and hide a frame rate, frames per second counter, which is pretty cool. So we can actually load our ROM. We don't have to specify it like a modern emulator, which is nice. So great feature add. Um, let's go ahead and just run it and show you that we're getting a normalized speed now. So we're controlling the speed, and that's very cool. And so you might think it's perfectly the correct speed, or you might think it's fast or slow. It's kind of irrelevant. So the ease, now we have this menu that can be accessed anytime with the escape menu, and it actually does pause the game. So if we look at the Goomba over here, you notice he stops moving. Then you hit escape again and it resumes, or you hit the resume button if you like. So this is working awesome. We can go ahead and load another game, and that works successfully as well. I'll demonstrate in a second. Let's go ahead and show the FPS counter. You can see that up there. You can go ahead and hide it. And so if you now going back to setting a custom frame rate, let's go ahead and now you can see that things are moving just a touch faster, but not too much faster. So I just hit pause there. I'm hitting pause instead of AB. But so if you can tune your game to run at the speed that you feel is correct, okay, and that's kind of like a little bit different about this emulator. Basically, like although I've seen this kind of thing before, like it's easy to get to your FPS that you can quickly swap at any time. You're not fumbling around with file menus. You kind of have this quick see and modify essence going on. So it's kind of cool in its own right to have this version of the emulator. This is officially like a milestone version, you know. So we have that. That's pretty cool. And the idea is that you can kind of tune the game. And so in that, so in my thinking is like, okay, there's your frame rate. You get your frame rate exactly right to where you feel it, obviously to maximize the fun that you're having with the game. Set it to however you like. Um, the other thing is that we have a standard size of the screen. As I was alluding to on my Python version of a simulator, it's actually the case that the video is not necessarily representing like you remember, because when you play this on a television, on TVs, the image is kind of stretched and distorted. There's a lot of filters and settings and stuff. Other emulators have done all these wonderful, great things, giving you scan lines and giving you artifacts and giving you curvature and giving you all this kinds of stuff. In that line, I kind of want to have it to help the user to experience the game in a pleasant and fun way with more. So this way is going to always be available, right? You see it in its original resolution that you're used to everywhere. But some of the options that I want to provide are to have, let's go ahead and load another game. Let's go ahead and load the classic Contra. So we're seeing compatibility here in the Rust version, very important. We actually have a new version of the emulator. Let's go ahead and, there's the demo, actually. I was going to start the game, starting the game. We have controller support, as you expect, as I just demonstrated. But let me see here. Yeah. So yeah. So I want to focus on. I'm going to be working on the sound emulation. I want to make that nice, but I want to focus on having the game appear beautiful and give me some other options. Right now, we cannot go into full screen, so that is a thing that's happening right now. I always found that they give you limited options, like give me the 2x, 4x, or fit the screen or whatever. So hopefully I can do something interesting with the video stuff, and I'm gonna make the sound as nice as I can. And I'm just loving, obviously we can tune this down really like that, so easy. And that's what I'm trying to say. I just like get it to where you like it and you're done. You just play the game. I think that's fantastic. I think it's a little bit unique. I'm trying to work on this uniqueness of the emulator. So thanks for checking that out. It's been really fun to program, and we actually have. It's really cool how there's the custom font loaded in here to get anything I want on there. That's all the options that we have right now, but I wanted to make sure that everything works, especially when you're working with the graphics. It's very important that you make this function properly. So that was the focus on that. And then we don't want always to have a frame rate counter showing or not showing. This gives the user options. I don't like stuff on screen. Some other people do like stuff on screen. So to each their own. But thanks for checking that out. Hope you found that interesting. And I love it. So we're here.